Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dear souls, seekers of truth and warriors of the heart, today we gather here to speak of a mountain. Not a mountain of stone and earth, but a mountain of valor, a mountain of vow, a mountain of devotion that stood tall even when earth beneath was shaking. The chaos of Kurukshetra war was going on. We're speaking of grandsire Bhishma Dev, Devavrat, Bhishma Deva ki jai. Bhishma is the son of the celestial river Mother Ganga and the mighty king Shantanu. In this vast galaxy of Mahabharata, filled with many countless stars and comets, Bhishma Dev is shining not just as a hero, as a Mahajan. Bhagavatam declares Bhishma Dev as a Mahajan, a great personality on the path of Dharma. So he's one of those 12 personalities who truly know the heart of God. But why? Why is the man who fought on the side of the villains considered a Mahajan? Why is a man whose life was a tragedy of vows considered a perfect devotee? So, to understand this, we must look not just at the strength, but at his scars. For in the wounds of Bhishma, we find the healing of our own lives. Bhishma is the one who took the terrible vow, the vow and the trap of duty. We can learn so much. Let's go back. Before Bhishma was the old grandsire on the bed of arrows, he was a radiant prince. He gave up his youth, his kingdom, his right to the lineage, all for the happiness of his father Shantanu. He took the Bhishma Pratigna, the terrible vow of lifelong celibacy and a service to the throne of Hastinapur. So it was an act of supreme love. But here is the first lesson of his life that begins to unfold. Bhishma was the guardian of the throne, of the crown, but he became the prisoner of it in some ways. He looked like he became. He served the seat regardless of who sat upon it. And this brings us to this painful truth about codependency. Codependency can also be in the spiritual path. So Bhishma, in his nobility, appeared to become the enabler of Dhritarashtra's blindness. Not only his physical blindness, but his spiritual blindness. So Dhritarashtra, the king who could not see literally, he was so attached and obsessed to his son Duryodhana, right? And Bhishma was attached to the vow to protect the king, Dhritarashtra. Do you see the chain here? Duryodhana used his father and his father's love to commit crimes. Dhritarashtra used Bhishma's vow to stay protected while those crimes happened. Bhishma knew it. He saw the rot eating away at the Kuru dynasty. He wanted to discipline the princes, even though years before, with his half-brother Vichitravirya, Bhishma saw the weakness. He wanted to bring discipline, structure, and the fire of a warrior. But who stood in his way? Well, back then, the queen mother, Satyavati, she was too soft towards her son. So she was shielding Vichitravirya from the harshness of reality. And in doing so, she shielded him from growth. Bhishma, bound by his promise to serve the kingdom, serve her, he stepped back. He let the softness rot the roots of the tree he was sworn to protect. So the lesson here is we often think love is saying yes, yes, yes. Yes, no, we think loyalty means standing by someone no matter what. But Bhishma's life teaches us that blind loyalty is not necessarily love. It is bondage. It can be bondage. Codependency is when we protect someone from the consequences of their actions. Bhishma protected the Kuru kings from the world, but he could not protect them from themselves. And in the end, that codependency caused the greatest war in history. So much to learn from his life. Greatness in so many ways. Let's talk about his valor. He rode into the city of Kashi single-handedly, and he handled all the great kings, all the assembled kings of the world. He took the three princesses, Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika, by force on his chariot, like a lion taking its prize. But for whom? Not for himself, for his weak brother Vichitravirya. He had the power to conquer, but he gave the fruits to someone else, someone unworthy. So this is misplaced duty, created a lot of karma. Eventually, he was even killed. In fact, his death was because of Amba, the eldest of the princess. She loved someone else. When Bhishma realized this, he released her, but her lover rejected her because she had been taken by another man. She came back to Bhishma and said, "You took me, now you marry me." He could not. His vow stood like a wall between them. A woman scorned, a life destroyed. Amba vowed to kill Bhishma. She was reborn as Shikandi, the instrument of Bhishma's death. The lesson here is even a Mahajan, even a pure soul, is not exempt from the laws of karma. If they act according to the natural law of Dharma, even if it's for a vow, we have to face the consequences. So we must ask ourselves, are we carrying burdens that belong to others? Are we fighting battles that people should be fighting for themselves? Let's come to the bed of arrows. Let's move to the battlefield of Kurukshetra. The 10th day, Bhishma falls, not by the strength of Arjuna alone, but by his own will. That was the only way that Bhishma could fall, yielding to Shikandi, yielding to the will of Krishna. He falls, but he does not touch the ground. His body is pierced with so many arrows that he rests on a bed of them, the Sharashaya. Imagine the scene. An old man, his body is broken, even every inch is pierced by steel, bleeding, waiting for the auspicious moment to leave the body. The pain must be excruciating. And yet, he's smiling. Why? Because standing at the foot of his bed is the Lord of his heart, Parthasarathi, Krishna. Krishna is covered in the dust of the battlefield, drops of blood on him. He's wearing his yellow armor. He holds the whip of the charioteer. To Bhishma, this is the most beautiful form of God. Pain vanishes when the object of your love stands before you. This is my favorite part of the history, and I know it can be yours too if you understand the depth. It's the moment where the warrior becomes the teacher, the moment where Vishnu Sahasranama is born, a great gift to humanity, the suffering humanity. Yudhishthir, the eldest Pandava, comes to Bhishma filled with guilt and confusion, and he asks grandsire Bhishma Dev, Kimekam daivatam loke kim vapyekam parayanam stuvantah kam kamarchanta prapnuyurmanava shubham kodharma sarva dharmanam bhavata paramo matah kim japan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhanat. Yudhishthira asking, who is the one refuge for all? By worshipping whom does a man gain true peace? What is the greatest dharma? How can all people find relief? Bhishma Uvacha Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam Purushottamam. Bhishma is not talking about politics here. He's not talking about war. He looks at Krishna, and from his lips flows a river of nectar, 1,000 names glorifying Krishna. The secret technology of nakshatras, a secret that changed my life. The connection between the names and the stars. Each of us are born under a specific star. The Vishnu Sahasranama is not just a prayer, it's the sonic alignment. The ancient sages, they have understood that we are connected to the cosmos through the 27 lunar mansions, the nakshatras, and these are the filters through which our karma descends upon us. Each nakshatra carries a specific energy, a specific lesson, and sometimes a specific blockage. So Bhishma, the master of time, he had the boon of Ichamrityu, death by will. He understood this. So when he is speaking these 1,000 names, he's giving a secret formula to Yudhishthir Maharaj that even we are so lucky to even have access to that. He was creating a ladder. Each stanza, each word, each vibration of the Sahasranam corresponds to a specific nakshatra spada. For example, if you're born under Ashwini nakshatra, the start of the zodiac, there is a specific verse that tunes your erratic energy into focused healing. The first 4 verses of the Vishnu Sahasranam is healing and rejuvenating and empowering to Ashwini. And remember, Ashwini could be either your moon nakshatra, your sun nakshatra, your Mars nakshatra, or any other planet's nakshatra. We have a whole series on nakshatras in our channel. For example, Rohini, if you're a Rohini, there's a verse that transforms your attachment into divine creativity. If you're a Mula, depending on which pada you are, there's a specific nakshatra. It goes to the root. There's a verse that stabilizes your chaotic destruction and turns it into spiritual liberation. I did this chanting for 1 year, chanted specific verses of my planetary nakshatras, and my life changed. Inner and outer, both. This is because I was able to witness me bypassing the mind, using this sound to rewire the subtle body, clears the karmic static. And earlier I was preventing to hear from Paramatma, and these mantras, this is Bhishma's gift to us. He showed us no matter how many arrows are piercing you, arrows of death, arrows of heartbreak, arrows of confusion, if you align your vibration with the infinite Vishnu, you can transcend the pain. How wonderful. Before Bhishma Dev recited the Vishnu Sahasranama, the names of Krishna, Bhishma gave Yudhishthir the keys to the kingdom of peace. He spoke these verses, which serve as a foundation for the Sahasranam. Let's meditate on their meaning. Jagat Prabhum Deva Deva Manantam Purushottamam Stubannama Sahasrena Purushas Satatoptitaha, the Supreme Person, who is the Master of the universe, the God of gods, the Infinite One. By praising Him with 1,000 names, a person rises above the struggles of material existence. So, Bhishma Dev is actually saying here, do not try to fix the world with your hands. Don't try to fix it alone. You will fail. First, fix your connection to the source. Become aligned to God's will. Only then you can rise. Uthita, utitha. Tameva charchayan nityam bhaktya purushamavyayam dhyayan stuvan namastyamscha yajamanastameva cha. Worship Krishna, Vishnu daily with devotion. Meditate on Him. Meditate on the specific names. Praise Him. Meditate on the qualities. Bow to Him, for He is the imperishable one. So Bhishma is emphasizing consistency. Nityam. You cannot do this once and expect magic. Like you practiced, for example, I did it for 1 year. That's like every month, 21 days of cycle. The steady dripping of water that hollows the stone of karma. He has no beginning and no end. He's the great Lord of all worlds, the witness of the universe. By praising Him, one who goes beyond all sorrows will also become dear to the Lord. Sarva dukkha, all kinds of miseries gone. This is the promise. Sarva dukkha tiga, you will transcend all sorrows. It doesn't mean that sorrows will disappear, the arrows will disappear of Bhishma Dev. It means they no longer hurt you. You become like Bhishma on the bed of arrows, yet in a state of bliss. Bhishma Dev waited. He waited for the sun to move into the northern hemisphere, Uttarayana. He waited until the auspicious moment arrived. When the time came, he withdrew his senses. He focused his life breath. He looked at the beautiful form of Vasudev Krishna one last time, and in that way, he became completely aligned to the Lord's will. So what do we take away from Bhishma Dev today? Dharma over comfort. Do not choose the easy path. Choose the path that strengthens your soul, even if it brings arrows. Break codependency. Love people enough to let them face their own battles. Do not be a crutch for someone else's weakness. Lesson number 3. Power of the holy name. Use the sound vibration of Vishnu Sahasranam. Find the verses that connects your star, your nakshatra. Use it as a laser to cut through the knots of your past karma. Bhishma Dev, the grandfather warrior, the lover of God. May his strength be your strength. May his devotion be your devotion. And may you, like him, find the courage to smile even when life places you on a bed of arrows, knowing that Krishna is standing right in front of you. Thank you very much. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.